I think what I realize for myself is changes that I make with a very conscious way. They tend to usually be things that take way more time. And I don't know, I'm thinking of, for instance, installing a routine where I know that I'm doing something for myself that is good for my my mental health, or even just my kind of level of stress during the day, is like taking an extra time in the morning to just basically maybe not do much. For instance, I really like to sit and have like a cup of tea and not be doing anything, just kind of there. And sometimes to have
teas for you.
yes, the morning teas. And for me is a way of like kind of starting the day, so I'm kind of preparing myself for it. And one of the things you probably never noticed, or you might have and you never told me, so I have on my watch this breathing app that tells, like, it sometimes is kind of buzzes on my wrist, and it's like, okay, I need to actually breathe a little bit. And actually that's quite nice, because it's something that you kind of, and to make the conscious change of actually paying attention to that, it's time to actually stop. And even if I'm doing something, to actually stop for a minute and to do it.
So it's an app that was making me make you teas.
Yeah. Maybe. No, I think I do use it a little bit more than you made me tea. But I think it's those changes, they take way more work and sometimes way more courage, because I was actually having that discussion the other day at work. We are in the last rush of Easter packing, and we're talking about cigarette breaks, and the thing that it's actually social acceptable to go for a cigarette break. And in whatever kind of job you do, usually if you say, oh, I just need to pop out for a cigarette, it's fine. Like, no one will say anything about it. It's like, okay, people just go for the cigarettes and come back. But if you say, I'm just going to pop out for a minute of breathing, or for a minute of meditation, or for just not to do anything and look at the wall, people look at you like, why are you taking a break? What are you doing? And we are relating to the fact that we're always supposed to be doing something all the time.
Yeah.
And for me, that little minute thing, it takes me still quite a lot of courage sometimes within myself to actually just stop whatever I'm doing, even if it's responding to an email, and just actually be there, and for a minute just kind of be concentrating on me. And I think because it's a very conscious choice, it takes me way more practice than actually to go to the whole change of careers and everything. It doesn't remove the fact that it was quite hard during the process. I had a lot of doubts, am I doing the right choice, etc. Or sometimes it popped to my mind, well, maybe I wasn't never really good at what I did before, that's why I'm kind of, life is taking me for something else, until actually, and when you are doing the something else, am I good enough to actually do this? But in a way, for me, it always kind of came kind of naturally. So I think change is quite a funny thing, isn't it? Because basically now we are also asking quite a lot of people to change the way they live for a period of time, but then we don't actually know what is going to be the result after.
Yeah, in the last one, I talked to a guy yesterday, and I said, "What if everyone just, you're at home, so you have all your home comforts. Your lifestyle's changed because you don't have to go to work,
Yes.
but you can lie in bed all day."
Yeah.
So I think the results will be different. It changes you like day to day, but like your values and your work ethic, or your mental health or well-being, I think you still need to make that conscious choice, because being at home is the ultimate,
Yeah.
stay with yourself.
Yeah. And I suppose it's also, I think, of a question of practicing and structuring yourself, isn't it? Because it's quite easy when you're at home to kind of a little bit this kind of holiday mode, which is fine, but also there is the fact that this is not really holidays in a way. I think it is, at least for me, the way I see it, I think is a time that people is there for rest and for people to recharge. Um, and I think that's kind of maybe something quite maybe subtle, but there is a difference between that and holidays. Holidays is still a time to rest, but it's a time that you chose, or even, well, I suppose when you're at school and or when you're at uni, you don't really necessarily choose that time, but you kind of program yourself to be on holiday at a certain time. And this was basically from one day to another. It was like, well, you don't have the choice. So I think that's quite interesting.